Good morning, welcome to Join the Dots. I know that a lot of people, I just pick up the vibes from the comments. A lot of people want to know what to do in this period of just financial, political, justice chaos. They want to know what to do. Now, I'm going to tell you my personal investment journey today so that you can see that I don't just talk it, I actually walk it. Okay? I do what I see and what I say because that's what I see as the sensible thing to do. So when picking up the vibes that we were going to go into a period of utter chaos, and this mainly stems from political, the election of 2019, the election of 2020, wasn't it? Or when Biden became president in 2020, but the election was 2019. Chaos everywhere. To see America in such chaos, to see 80 million votes for Biden, 82 million votes for Biden, something was fundamentally wrong. Something was just wrong. So to go through that process of examining what could be wrong led me to believe we were heading for all sorts of crises, and sadly that's where we are. So I took the view that gold was definitely going to be the safest asset on the planet for the next however many years, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe longer, I don't know. I don't do timing, I don't do trading, and I wish I could, but I can't, okay? I haven't got the character to take the pressures of daily trading. And so if you can, that's fantastic, keep on it, especially if you're good. For traders, I thoroughly recommend the site of Gregory Mannarino. I really do. He does analysis twice, 3 times a week of the entire market, crypto, precious metals, stocks, and he's got so much experience. So use him. Use Gregory Mannarino. Okay? But for me, I took a longer journey. I decided, okay, I need to be in precious metals. Then, of course, I started to listen to all the people I could find that were interested or were experienced in this market. And I also did my own research. Which stocks are safe? Because again, there is no one-word answer. You can't just say gold. You can't just say silver. Where's the silver? Is it safe? Is it in a jurisdiction that won't be taken control of by the government in a crisis? Now that mainly applies to what I looked at as the best investments, which were stocks, in other words, equities in the gold and silver space. Okay, so I did my research, and a lot of research, and I picked a stock called Yamana Gold, Canadian company. And I thought this has got a beautiful blend of gold and silver. It's in very safe jurisdictions. And what we've seen in the last 6 months, 9 months is Barrick gold mines have tremendous problems in Mali. And in the end, they've had to abandon the mine and leave it to the Mali government. That's what happened. So it's not just gold stocks. It's gold stocks who have mines in which countries. So again, you need to do a lot of research, or you need to listen to those who've done all the research. That's your choice. It's always your choice. It's your money. It's always going to be your choice. Okay, so I picked up Yamana and I thought, well, this is a good company. I like this. And I watched it. And then gold price got depressed for a period. And in came a very, very opportunistic bid from Consolidated Goldfields, a company I've known for years. In fact, I used to go and market to them from Credit Suisse. And I didn't like them. And I didn't like the bid. And I was very disappointed. But then, fortunately, 2 other companies, Agnico Eagle Mines and Pan American Silver, decided that, yeah, the bid was ridiculous from Consolidated Goldfields. So they came in with a higher bid on the basis that they would take, Agnico would take the gold, Pan American would take the silver, and they'd give you some cash as well. And I thought, fantastic, that's what I wanted. So I've evolved into having shares in Agnico Eagle and shares in Pan American Silver. And guess what? They've done very, very well. Thank you very much. So I looked at the chart last night and I see that in May, where were we? May 2019, okay? Gold price has moved up 170% to date. Silver price has moved up 150% to date. But the S&P has moved up 125%. So it's not that far behind. It's not that far behind. But I'm looking forwards, aren't I? And I'm saying, well, what is your risk now? So gold is now 3,300 overnight. Silver is 36 again. And the S&P is 6,250 at 28 times earnings. When the average earnings ratio over the history of the S&P is something like 16. Yes, gold and silver are also high relative to the past. Silver not so. Silver's still 36, its high is 50. Gold is 3,300, its high was 2,000 and a bit. So yes, it's high. But who is holding it? Who is holding the shares or the gold? Central banks. Am I worried about central banks selling? No. Would I be worried if it was hedge funds or large traders holding it? Yes, I would. And they're holding the S&P, aren't they? They're holding the S&P, not central banks. It may come to it, if I'm right, it may well come to it that the Fed will end up buying the S&P. Japan's been there for years, 40 years, almost now, okay, since 1990, when the Japanese central bank has had to buy 50% of the market just to keep it up there. That market fell from, I think it was 40,000, 39,000 something, down to about 8,000 or 9,000. It fell 70, 80%. And it's taken the best part of 35 years to get it back to where it is today. That's what I see for shares, because the global economy is contracting at the fastest rate on record. So in my world, I want to be safe. So I want to be, if I'm going to be in equities, I want to be in equities in an industry that is safe. And therefore I chose, and this is my choice, it's not yours, and I'm not advising, I'm simply telling you my journey so that you can understand the logic and my thought process, given all the foundations of where we are in the economy that I've passed to you in the last week. So now I'm very happy sitting in one of the largest gold mines, and you can look it up. If you go onto Google, you put in the name Agnico Eagle Mines, and it will give you a whole load of data on the company at the moment, but you just press more information and poof, out it comes. All the stock tips, all the advisors, what they're saying. So easy, so easy. I mean, goodness me, compare this to 30 years ago when you had no information and you had to rely on a stockbroker or someone. It's there for you. The information is there. And it's from good sources, if you check them. There are some bad sources out there, but there are some good ones. So I've ended up with my gold in Agnico Eagle and my silver in Pan American Silver, and I'm very, very happy. They performed fantastically. Now, I know that a lot of people on this site are going to be saying, what about crypto? So I'll tell you my crypto journey, and it's a very short journey. It's a very short journey. I, as a banker, as a trained banker, really couldn't get my head around Bitcoin. I just couldn't. It just didn't make fundamental sense to me when it was launched. I had no idea what it was trying to achieve. To be honest, I wasn't all that interested either. It just didn't appeal to me as a banker. But it did perform. And so I've looked at the charts of the 5 cryptos that I looked at last November. I thought, okay, I'm going to have to go into this space. Why? Because my macro head was telling me that the world was splitting into 2. You know what I mean. We've got the BRICS and allied countries who, Russia particularly, have real cause not to trust the dollar because of the freezing of their dollar assets. So we've got not half, but a good percentage of this planet who don't want the dollar anymore. And I've said many times on my presentations, they cannot have a currency that isn't backed by something, because they don't have the history of the dollar and the strength and the dispersion of the dollar. They don't have it. So they're going to have to back their currency with probably precious metals. That's one half of the world. The other half of the world, does it have precious metals? Does it have them? We're not sure, are we? Where's the audit? Where's the audit of Fort Knox that was promised in the lead up to the election? Promised. It's not there, is it? So, the West, in my eyes, can't back its currency with gold and silver without massively promoting the East, because they have an awful lot more than we think they have, know they have, or, yeah, I suspect they've got an awful lot more. So they would come out of a reclassification of currencies only to be backed by gold and silver at a tremendous advantage. So I see the West having to go down a different route. And you can see from everything Trump has said since the election and since, the crypto route is where America is heading. So I did a lot of work into the crypto before Trump became elected. And I came up with my pick, again, my pick, right? My research, my pick was XRP. A lot of reasons, I haven't got the time to go into them today, but we will cover them over the following episodes. So what has happened since the day that I chose XRP, which was in early November last year? Well, we've seen, I've been watching the coins, I've been watching the big one, Bitcoin, yes, it's up 50% since last November. Solana, it's just a little bit down actually. But it rose quite rapidly from 160 to 260, and now it's down. Hedera, it went up and it's done quite well. It's held. It was 5 cents. It's now 15 cents. It's up 200%. XRP, bought it 51 cents. Now $2.18, up 330%. There's a logic to XRP. There's the Ripple network, there's the system, there's the longevity. It was formed before Bitcoin. Not many people know that. It's research, it's hard work, and then it's listening to the right voices. That's how you get the right or the best or the better answers in a world of confusion, chaos, misdirection, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, every information you want except the truth, unless you work at it. Okay, so we're going to cut this presentation there. That's my personal journey, and in future episodes we're going to talk about why that journey is continuing, and we're going to see what happens along that journey and whether we have to change tactics or strategy at all. The strategy is the key in my world. Strategy, macro, long term, not the tactics, the trading, the in here, in there, listen to this, listen to that, listen to it. No, I'm not interested. I want the long, safe journey. And so far, it's proved to be just that. Thank you very much.